So as you know, my wife, Jennifer, I make lots of videos on this because I'm very heartbroken. I'm devastated. My wife, Jennifer, my partner, my lover, my best friend, the mother of our two beautiful children passed away. 2 weeks later, my other best friend, my mom, you only have one mom in this world, she passes away. Now, this happens all in 2 weeks in my life. This was my entire support system. This was our children's support system. This was everything to us. The two most important people in our whole world were devastated. This was catastrophic what happened to our family. Now, the question is, you know, that I have the God, why take everything? Everything, even not that I care about money, because at the end of the day, it's my beautiful wife and my mom that means everything to me. I don't care about money, but we did lose our household income as well because I was my wife's full-time caretaker. That's just a deck of cards we were dealt. She had cancer. She needed to stay home. She needed my help full time. I became her caretaker so she could continue to receive her insurance and get all her treatments for her cancer. And that's the way we set it up. My mom lived with us. She had a certain income that she contributed to our household income. When my wife and my mom passed away, we lost all of that, like several $1,000s, like $7,000 to $8,000 a month. People say read the book of Job. That's what they say to me. Job was this righteous guy, very successful guy, filled with wealth, was very respected, loved God, by the way, and had a family, just had like the perfect life. So just from the little reading I'm doing on it, I think God wanted to prove to the devil. He said, listen, I'm going to take everything away from this guy, Job. I'm going to take away all his money, his family. I'm going to leave him with nothing to suffer. But he will still keep his faith. He's not going to turn away from me. And that's exactly what happened. Even though God took away all of this from Job, his family, his wealth, his money, left him to suffer tremendous, tremendous suffering. Job remained, true to God, kept his faith. And at the end, I think God gave him back his wealth. They made him live a long life. I don't think God was able to give him back his family, but that I don't know. I have to read more. But I don't know about that part, but I know he gave him a long life and gave him his wealth back. All right, so here's the situation. Here's how I feel about this. Is it really necessary to make that type of a test to a person? Like, why did you have to do that for? Why? That you had to take everything away from someone just to make sure that they're going to remain loyal and true to you and keep their faith. I don't know. That doesn't sound very nice. That doesn't sound like a God that loves you. I'm just saying that was a lot, right? They say God only gives you what you can handle. Well, that was a lot. Okay, now, in my case, I'm just trying to understand, is it similar? What's happening here? Because people say, well, God's not involved. They keep saying that to me over and over. God is not, but God was involved with Job, right? Would you agree? God intentionally did this. It was an intentional thing as a test. It was a test to take away Job's family, wealth, leave him to suffer. So God was involved, if you believe, right, in this story of Job. He was involved. So to say he's not involved, well, that's not true. He was involved. But the question is this a similar thing for me? Is this a test that I lost my wife and my mom in 2 weeks? And what's the test? Does God want to see if I remain true, if I keep my faith? I don't think you're going to be giving me back my wife, though, even if I prove this to you, God, even if I prove to you that I'm going to keep my faith, not turn away from you, remain true to you, I don't think I'm going to get my wife back or my mom back. So this is basically suffering now for the rest of my life. Yes, I have my children. I love my children. But this was not supposed to be a single dad situation. Me and my wife got married. We had a very specific plan to be together, to raise the children together. And as I said in one of my last videos, I believe my wife is angry. Her spirit is angry. I saw a pot break. This gingerbread pot was one of her favorite pots. It broke like out of nowhere, last night. And I was talking to her. I have this tribute area set up in the house where I have pictures of my wife and everything, so on and so forth. Just, a beautiful tribute that I made for her. And there's this small little chandelier. The light started flickering. I'm like, are you upset? Are you angry? Do you want to be here with us? And it started flickering 2 times. I don't know, something's telling me she's angry. And rightfully so. She wants to be here. She was only 46 years old, my wife. She wants to be with her children. So I don't know. I don't understand what the point is here of my wife and my mom having to pass away within 2 weeks. I don't know. Is this a test similar to Job? I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is this: no matter what I do, I don't think I'm going to get my wife back. I don't think I'm going to get my mom back. I don't think the children are going to get their mother back or their grandmother back. So I don't know what the end goal here is. I'm confused. I'm very confused. And I do have a lot of questions for God.